So it gives me great pleasure to welcome our next speaker, that is Air Vice Marshal P.K. Kuruvilla, VSM, and he is retired from the Indian Air Force. And his topic today would be on the Coogee flights of 1936 and 1939. In fact, the Air Vice Marshal started his philatelic journey way back in 1959 when he was just 13. Persuading his father to part with rupees 13, he purchased the mint set of four stamps of 1948 Mahatma Gandhi issue. Like any other schoolboy, he started his collection on all subjects, all world. This went on during his engineering college days and in his early professional career in the Indian Air Force. While being posted to Delhi, he became a member of the New Delhi Philatelic Bureau as well as of the Philatelic Bureau of Number 1 CBPO. During that time, he met Brigadier Virk, the father of independent India's father of Army Postal Service. On his advice, he started specializing on British India stamps as well as on British India covers. In 1976, he became a life member of Religious Stamp Exchange Club in Cochin, where he met members like the late S.P. Loy and G.B. Pai. With their advice, he started collecting and studying the postal histories of Cochin and Travancore states. Uh, the Air Vice Marshal never stopped collecting philatelic items right from 1959. He is a member of the India Studies Circle and few other philatelic societies. His interest in aviation led to his specialized collection on Indian airmails, which he started from 2003 or so. Due to work pressure, he could not participate in any exhibitions till 2022. In the state level Karnapex 2024, his 8-frame exhibit on Indian airmails won a vermeil, and in the AMSI PAX 25, his exhibit won a large vermeil. It is hoped that his research oriented approach will benefit most of the audience. Air Vice Marshal Kuruvilla, the floor is open and we look forward to your talk.
Good evening, good afternoon, and good morning to all of you as per your time zone. Let me thank Mr. Varun Khanna for his introductory remarks. Also, Mr. Piyush Kaitan for setting up the Airmail Society of India and organizing these monthly meetings. I am really honored and humbled to give this presentation to so many internationally acclaimed aerophilatelists. I owe a lot to Mr. Terry Harry Walker, with whom I am in touch for almost 2 decades. From 2020, we had many interactions on Empire Airmail Society schemes and the Coogee flights. Without his numerous clarifications and information provided, I wouldn't have ventured into this adventure. My thanks are also due to Mr. Dharmdev Maurya for all the admin arrangements, including helping me in projecting these slides. Among the audience, I also noticed that a few of my friends and relatives, all non-philatelists, are being present. Considering them, I will endeavor to structure the presentation in such a way that they do not get lost. The topic I have selected is Coogee flights 1936 to 39. This is because the initial order for the 28 flying boats were placed on the manufacturer Short Brothers of Kent, UK, by the Imperial Airways in Imperial Airways in 1935 and by 1936, the first batch of the flying boats were delivered to Imperial Airways. After 1939, once the Second World War broke out, Coogee and many other flying boats were handed over to the Royal Air Force and the Royal Australian Air Force for wartime duties. So I ended the topic there. I intend to cover the topic as shown in this slide. Just a minute, please. This is the headings in which I would cover the topics, but it may not follow the same sequence. In my conclusion, I will deliberate on the reasons as to why Coogee has earned a special interest in the Indian aerophilatry. I will request the experts to point out any omissions or factual errors which might have crept into my study. Begging the pardon of the seasoned aerophilatrist, I will take a couple of minutes to introduce aerophilatry to the non-philatelic audience. Aerophilatry can be defined as a specialized branch of philately that focuses on the study and collection of philatelic materials transmitted through air. What are the mediums through which this is transmitted? Through pigeons, balloons, aircraft and helicopters, rockets, and spacecrafts. And these are while pigeons were used as message carriers from the days of Vedas and Puranas, the start of aerophilatry can be attributed to the carriage of mail by balloons across the enemy lines during the siege of Paris in 1870 to 71. It is, however, after the first powered flight of Wright brothers on 17th December 1903 that the potential of transporting mail by air was thought about. The first official airmail flight took place, as every aerophilatelist knows, on 18 February 1911 in India. A French pilot, Henri Picquet, flew his biplane from Allahabad exhibition grounds to Naini, a railway station lying on the Bombay-Calcutta rail route, a distance of 13 kilometers. He carried with him 6,500 letters and 40 signed photo postcards and handed them over to the postal authorities in Naini, from where it was distributed to India and beyond. Most of the Indian aerophilately collectors will be having at least one of these covers in their collection. However, the autographed photo cards are extremely rare and very difficult to get. In UK, the first official airmail flight took place in September 1911. Philatelic materials were flown from Hendon to Windsor. In US, while various demonstration flights started from 1912, the regular airmail service started on 15th May 1918, when the famous Curtis Jenny aircraft took mails from Washington, D.C. to New York via Philadelphia. For the British government, with its colonies spread across continents, it was essential that the airmail services be developed from UK to Africa, India, Far East, and Australia. While significant route development and explorations were carried out by the enthusiastic pioneer aviators and the Royal Air Force during the period from 1911 to 1924, it was after the establishment of the Imperial Airways at Croydon, London in 1924 that this effort gained momentum. In this presentation, we are examining the role of the flying boats or the seaplanes in general and Coogee in particular in the route exploration and development programs of the Imperial Airways. In the 1920s, the Imperial Airways airmail route from Britain to Karachi took at least 7 days, with a combination of usage of land-based aircraft and trains, and at times even by boats and packet ships. The mails travelled from Croydon in London to Basel by plane, followed by train to Geneva, thereafter again by plane to Alexandria, once again by train to Cairo, and thence to Karachi by plane, speeding up the communication channel to South Africa and India, as well as extending this route to the Far East, Australia, and New Zealand, was of top priority for the British government. The formation of the Imperial Airways, extension of the desert route from Cairo to Basra, and the introduction of the Empire Airmail scheme conceived in 1934 and operationalized by 1937 were all part of this endeavor. The developmental cost of constructing the airfields and maintaining them were considered uneconomical, and it was decided to integrate flying boats with this overall scheme. The flying boats could land on water, allowing access to coastal cities, riverine towns, and colonial outposts where runways did not exist. These flying boats offered relatively smooth landings and takeoffs on water and were luxuriously furnished compared to land planes of that era. Notably, 3 types of flying boats were used by Imperial Airways. This was covered in the crash mail lecture also, but the short Calcutta, that is the short S8 type. This is a tri-motor flying boat. It was introduced, the first flight was on 14 February 1928. It had 3 Bristol Jupiter 9 radial engines. This was followed by the Short Kent, and then Short Kent is the S17 type, which has been again shown there. And the first flight of this took place on 24th February 1931, followed by the Short 23 Empire class. In the literature, the importance of the operational advantage of flying boats can be summarized by quoting from the literature. The Imperial Airways and its flying boats symbolizes the early global reach of civil aviation. Their operations laid the groundwork for modern air routes and connected distant parts of the British Empire, accelerating communication, trade, and imperial administration. Let us now examine the flying boat Coogee. It was actually launched to the Medway River in Rochester, Kent, where the Short Brothers seaplane works were located, as with the company number S849, and it had the British registration later on as AEUG. It was the aircraft was the last of the first initial order, which was given, the 28th Empire boat, to be completed and flown by Short Brothers. The Imperial aircraft, once it was handed over to the Imperial aircraft on the 19th January 1938, they gave the Imperial aircraft fleet number 26, and it got the British registration number JAEUG. What is the origin of Coogee? What does it mean? The name Coogee originated from the Australian Aboriginal language Daru. Its meaning is mist rising from the heart of the water. Coogee also is a name of a suburb near Sydney in the state of New South Wales. It should be noted that all S23 Class C flying boats were named beginning with the alphabet C. So Coogee is one of them. The essential technical details are shown here. The aircraft could carry a crew of 5 together with 24 to 30 passengers in luxury, with an all-up weight of 40,500 pounds, with a maximum speed of 200 miles per hour and a maximum range of 700 to 900 miles, with a service ceiling of 19,000 feet, powered by four 920 bhp Bristol Pegasus 10C air-cooled radial engines. The aircraft had luxurious cabin fit for royalty with plush seating, smoking rooms, leather recliners, stowable dining tables, etc. The spectacular view offered by the flying boats, combined with the speed and luxury they offered, were chronicled in the diaries of many passengers and was published in the Imperial Airways gazettes of those years. Some photographs of flying Coogee. You can see with the Short brothers, it had the initial registration of VHABC. Then it went to the Imperial Airways with the registration at GAEUG. Then it went to Qantas. I'll cover that with the VHABC as the registration. This is also with the Qantas. Immediately after its introduction to the Imperial Airways, it flew its first maiden operational sortie as IE-627. There seems to be some confusion about the date of Coogee's maiden flight. The confusion probably arose due to Imperial Airways senior captain W.C. Algers taking off in a flying boat from Southampton on 17th February and then flying Coogee from Karachi to Calcutta and thence to Rangoon and Singapore. An entry in the Aerofield magazine of November 38 issue complicated the matter further. It was mentioned on Friday, 17th February 1938, the flying boat Coogee, piloted by Captain Algers, left Southampton. However, Edward Pride and Mr. Peter Vincent, in their famous books, I am not mentioning them, everybody knows that, and Jeffrey Brown in Indian Air Mails had listed Coogee leaving Southampton as 13th February 1938. This is also in line with the flight logs of Captain W.C. Algers. Copies of the flight logs were given to me by Mr. Terry Harry Walker. You can see that flight logs, record of flight logs, which are here. And it is very clear that Algers took off from Southampton on 17 September 1938 in flying boat Circe and not in the Coogee. Coogee on the other hand, that was 17th February 1938. Coogee on the other hand had already left Southampton Marine Terminal on 13th February 1938. The Coogee's route, the maiden operational story, took off from 13th February. The route which it followed was Southampton via Southampton to Marseilles. It had a refueling halt in Saint-Nazaire on the French Atlantic coast. Then to France, it reached Marseilles, a Mediterranean port in the southern France. Took off from Marseilles on 14th. I am putting the night halt places by the red sign which is coming in. It went through Rome, Brindisi, halted there, went to Athens, had a halt there, Alexandria, then Tiberias, then halted in Baghdad. Then the next one was Basra. From Basra on 18th, it took off from 18th of February. It took off through Bahrain, Dubai, that is Sharjah, Gouda, and reached Calcutta and had the night halt on the same day. So on 18th morning, 18th afternoon, it reached Calcutta. Here there is something which is to be noted is that when it flew from Athens to Baghdad, it has covered 1,150 miles in a single day. This was one of the longest flight recorded by the flying boats at that time. In the meantime, WC Algiers reached Karachi from Southampton, piloting the flying boat Circe. It departed to Southampton on 17 February 1938 as IE 628, arrived Karachi on 21st February 1938. The two flying boats, Coogee and Koryo, were ordered to proceed to Malaya, flying across India, exploring the new waterfront routes across India, and then to proceed to Burma and Singapore. Earlier, Indian Transcontinental Airways route from Karachi to Calcutta was over the land connecting Jodhpur, Delhi, Kanpur, Allahabad, Asansol, and then reaching Calcutta. Koryo, on its maiden flight, reached Karachi on 24th February 38. So, in the Coogee, with the pilot as Algiers, left Karachi at 23:45 hours on 21st February. That is the midnight of 21st February, which is in the most of the records it's written as 22nd February. It flew via the lakes, which are Rajsamand Lake in Udaipur, Matsogar Lake in Gwalior. Then it landed in Allahabad in River Ganges, and finally reached Calcutta on the same day on 22nd February, which is, I mean, when you take the 23:45 as midnight, on the same day, it reached Calcutta. Coogee left Calcutta on the very next day, early morning. Algiers took the flight to Singapore via Akia. It had a night halt at Rangoon and Bangkok, Penang, Singapore, and reached there on 24th February. This was the first service to be operated by S-23 boats from Karachi to Singapore. On its return flight, Coogee left Singapore as IW 630 on 28th February via Penang. Penang, it reached Calcutta, and then the very next day, that was on 1st February, it reached Calcutta, 1st March. And then the very next day, it took off from Calcutta, halted in Allahabad. It reached, I'm not covering the whole thing, it reached Hythe in Kent, that is very close to Southampton, on the 6th of March. Now let us look at the covers which Coogee covers. Let us look at the covers carried by the Coogee. It would appear that no advance warning was given in England or other countries for the Coogee flight. During my interactions with Mr. Terry Harry Walker, it was revealed that the British public came to know about the Coogee first flight, which has happened in February 1938, only in June, when months later, when Mr. Pereira from Bombay sent a report to Francis Field for publication in the Aerofield. That was in June. So months later only it came to know, and it is very doubtful whether any cover from UK had flown from places beyond Karachi. Covers from Karachi and beyond, we will see the number of covers flown are very, very few on all these things because of the lack of advance notice, even though the Indian authorities had some Indian authorities had some notice on this. The number of covers on different stages from Karachi to Singapore or vice versa could not be determined, especially due to difference in numbers quoted by different sources. Most of the covers were prepared by Pereira. Mr. Terry Walker had given me scanned copies of two lists prepared by Gordon Anstey, and Mr. Rudolph Pinto had given me an original handwritten note of by Gordon Anstey as a reply to some of his queries. Here, Mr. Gordon Anstey has indicated the number of covers which are flown in each of the sectors. However, there appears to be some inaccurate information contained thereon. I have only 18 Coogee covers. 10 of them were exhibited in both Karnapex as well as in AMSI. I am showing the exhibit pages here. And with the help of the Maurya, what I have done is I have segregated these covers for this particular presentation. You may see some overlaps of the covers. I have not disturbed the original albums, so you may see some overlaps in the following slides. This is the first cover which I have exhibited, Gwalior to Allahabad. This is to be noticed. Here is the Gwalior adhesive stamps were used for this cover. The adhesive stamps, you can see the Gwalior state overprint stamps. These state stamps were not really authorized to use in normal airmails, but for this particular flight, these stamps were they were specially permitted for use. This is the special cover. First cover I will just explain, which shows the Coogee flight. This is the cover which is designed by Pereira and D'Souza. You can also see the airmail rate, which is 2 annas, 1 anna for ordinary postage and 1 anna for air freight. Gordon Anstey has listed only 2 covers and flown on the sector, but more numbers are known to be in existence with the flight list. We come to the next cover. As I told you, you can see the overlap from my page. This is a cover which was flown from Karachi to Kanpur by the special flight. The Kanpur doesn't come into the route of the Coogee. So what the Imperial Airways did was they chartered 2 flights from United Province Flying Club, and those aircraft took the flight from Gwalior to Kanpur to Delhi. So only 5 covers have been flown as per Gordon Anstey, and this is one of those 5 covers which is flown to Karachi by the special flight from Gwalior. Then this is the outward flight, the westward flight from Gwalior to London. Gordon Anstey annotated the number of carried as not known, correctly franked with the 2.5 anna to London. This is Gwalior, Calcutta, again with the Gwalior state adhesives. Gordon Anstey listed only 2 covers. More covers are known to be existing. Then Gwalior to Athens. Number of covers flown are 35, correctly franked with 9.5 annas stamps, 6 annas air fee, and 3 anna surface fee rate. Here you can see the Lakshka GPO cancellation of Gwalior. Then Gwalior to Udaipur with the Gwalior state adhesives. Again the Lakshka JP and the Kankroli cancellation of Udaipur is at the back side. Since it's already there, I am not able to show the back cover. You have the Allahabad Udaipur with Kankroli air cancellation, one of the 20 covers flown on this sector. Calcutta to Udaipur with Kankroli air cancellation, number of covers flown is 26. Allahabad to Gwalior with Gwalior RS air cancellation, number of covers flown 21. Calcutta Gwalior with Gwalior RS air cancellation, number of covers flown are 30. Now those were the things which I have exhibited. Now the other covers which I have in my collection from Karachi to Udaipur, the number of covers flown are 31. Here you can see the Gwalior RS cover, RS air cancellation here. Now, this cover has as a story, which I will just take a minute to explain to you. The Udaipur postmaster didn't have the information about the flight. So he didn't accept any cover for transmission by Coogee. So this cover was overflown from Gwalior. It went to all the way to uh, it overflowed Udaipur and went all the way to Gwalior. Then was sent back to Udaipur by train. So you can see that it reached Gwalior on 22nd and reached sent back by the train and reaching there on 24th February. The Kankroli, on the other hand, the Kankroli assistant postmaster had the information, and he was accepting the covers for transmission from Kankroli. This is an Udaipur Calcutta cover, flown 32. Kankroli cancellation on the front side, you can see, and the Calcutta stamp on the back. This is a cover which has come to Calcutta. They tried to find out the address, couldn't find him out, and it was redirected to Bombay. Then you have a cover which is from Gwalior to Kanpur. This cover is actually, though it is shown on the Coogee flight cover and considered as a Coogee flight, it cannot be really theoretically called as a Coogee flight because Gwalior to Kanpur, it was flown by the chartered flight. So this has not carried by Coogee. The number of covers flown is not known. Then we have a Gwalior to Gadu, border that is in Pakistan now. It has got you can see the Gwalior RSI cancellation. This is a error cancellation because I cannot say it as an error in the sense that Gwalior RSI cancellation were only supposed to be given only to the receipt in Gwalior, not for any cover transmitted from Gwalior. But this cover, this is given as a transmission cover. I mean, transmitted from Gwalior onwards to Gouda with the Gwalior RSI. It may be either by mistake or as reported in certain literatures, it could be a favor given to some people. 15 covers are with this type of error, but whereas Gordon Anstey records only 3 covers. Gwalior Bahrain, again with the cover, this cover, flown on 2nd March, reached. Now, why did I give these 2 covers? One is, of course, to show the error, and the other one is because both these covers have 2 other adhesives, which is for the internal airmail rates. But these 2 particular stations, Gouda and Bahrain, were allowed, enjoyed the special rate of 2 ANA, which was for the inland airmails. So I have put the collections of mine. Now, this is my last cover, which I have, is from Gwalior to Karachi. Gwalior state adhesives are there. The Lakshkar GPO Gwalior cancellation flown on 2nd March, back stamped on Karachi on 4th March. I have now taken the liberty and taken the permission from Mr. Terry Harry Walker, and I am showing some of the very rare covers from his collection. Sorry, one more collection in my name. I'm sorry for that. This is a cover which is Gwalior to Paris via Marshal. This cover is in my collection. I'm sorry. The next one is this is only one of the 12 covers which has flown in this cover. This is the Terry Harry Walker's collection. In Rangoon, only 2 covers are flown from Gwalior to Rangoon, and this is one of them. And this is to Singapore. Only 1 cover was flown, and this is a cover from Gwalior to Calcutta. again, Mr. Terry Harry Walker's collection. I am put it because this is the first time I am seeing, though I am collecting the British India cancellations also is in my collections, but I have not seen this Gwalior RYSTN railway station in this type of a thing in my collections. I don't have, nor did I read anywhere such a thing. If the audience can enlighten me, I will be grateful on this. Now, with this, I come to my conclusion, in which I will explain, as I told you, a bit about the Coogee's importance of Coogee and the contribution of Coogee. Immediately after the Coogee flight, the stage 2 of the Embraer Airmail scheme from India to and Malaya was inaugurated on 23rd February 38 from Southampton. Prior to the extension of the Embraer Airmail or all-up scheme to India, Imperial Airways was running a bi-weekly service from Southampton to Karachi. From 3rd October 1937 Sunday, the flying boats operated this service from Southampton to Karachi as IE 589. The return flight was IW 588, leaving Karachi on 7th October 37. The second weekly service was on Thursday from Southampton and was operated by flying boats from Southampton to Alexandria, and from there on it was operated by land planes. From Karachi, land planes of the Indian Transcontinental Airways operated this as explained earlier. With the introduction of the EAMS, the frequency of the service was increased to 4 a week by the introduction of the Calcutta terminal service. Flying boats operated initially in each direction from Southampton to Karachi and by land planes from Karachi to Calcutta. A few days later, seaplanes operated all the way from Southampton to Singapore. The time savings effected by using the flying boats across India, even when compared with the land planes of the Indian Transcontinental Airways, was substantial. The time saving was 4 to 6 days faster by using only road or train transport, and 1 to 2 days faster by the land planes. The time saving was heavily advertised by the imperial authorities during the launch of the Embraer Airmail scheme. On the Calcutta-Singapore route also, the time saving by the introduction of the flying boats was substantial. Compared to typical transit time of 3 to 4 days by land planes, the flying boats would complete the transit in 12 to 16 hours. In addition to avoiding circuitous land routes, the turnaround of aircraft at water stops were faster. These are the major contributory factors which allowed the Imperial Airways to increase its weekly services to 4. Thus, as a forerunner to EAMS, the contribution of Coogee in establishing the flying boat route from Karachi to Singapore was tremendous. The establishment of the new route allowed many countries like Egypt, Aden, Palestine, Transjordan, India, including the British post offices on the Persian Gulf, in the French India, and in Tibet, but excluding the Portuguese India, then Ceylon, Seychelles, Burma, Malaya States, Straits Settlement, North Borneo, and Sarawak were added to the scheme. Canada and Newfoundland also became a part of the EAMS scheme, even though the first-class mail availing this scheme to Canada were conveyed by air only between England and South Africa. The financial advantages of the EAMS is the rate of postage to all these countries were 1.5 pence per half an ounce of by weight letter and 1 pound for postcards. This would mean a letter which was costing 1 shilling and 3 pence from UK to Karachi was reduced to 1.5 pence. Coogee was transferred from Imperial Airways to Qantas on 24th September 38 and remained with them till 28th August 1940, when it was transferred from civilian EAMS duties to wartime duties with the Royal Australian Air Force. It is reported that Coogee crashed in Cleveland Bay near Townsville on 27th February 42 while attempting a landing in the bay. It probably struck as a submerged object. All the eight the crew and the passengers included, there were 8 on the board, all got killed in the Tibet. Lastly, we will examine what has made the collection of Coogee's covers so special amongst the aerophilactists. There are many reasons. First is the historical significance. Many Coogee covers are from inaugural flights or survey flights. It was the pioneering effort before the Embraer airmail scheme start. It had very low survival numbers, as you have seen from the covers which has been shown here. Usage of the conventional stage stamps of body for this route. Distinctive postmarks and frankings as seen in the slides. And lastly, Coogee covers can fit into many thematic subjects like first flight covers, interrupted flight covers, Embraer airmail schemes, postal history, Indian state airmail history, and finally, on the thematic collection of the flying boats itself. Thanks for your patient hearing.
Many thanks, Air Vice Marshal Kuruvilla. It's absolutely been a pleasure to hear you out and for all your insights. We are absolutely delighted.